Channel Pro Network presents IT Nightmares with Justin Esgar and guest James Wroten. Episode 2, RMM Gone Rogue.
What's up, everybody? Justin here, and welcome to another IT Nightmares, a video series I'm hosting in my partnership with the Channel Pro Network. Today, my guest is James Wroten, CEO of Intellios. He's been doing this for 10 years. According to ChatGPT, he's also really good at sailing, but as we all know, AI makes shit up. So, James, number one, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Tell everybody, what was that worst IT nightmare that you walked into? What made it so bad, and what'd you do?
You bet, Justin. Thanks for having me on today. So our worst IT nightmare was a compromise of our RMM software in the fall of 2019. We had a successful attempt by a third party to execute a PowerShell script through our RMM that went past all antivirus and security protocols in place and encrypted a large percentage of endpoints across our customer base, all within just a few minutes. And we dug ourselves through that, and I use the word dug very carefully. We dug ourselves through that to restore data that was encrypted over a long, extensive period of time. We had about 2/3 of our customer endpoints encrypted, so you can imagine what the recovery and restore from that looked like. And I'll say that was like our ugliest IT nightmare by a long shot ever.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. So walk me through, how did you guys get back on track?
So I'll say this, these things never happen Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, as we all know. It was a Sunday afternoon. I had been out of town for the weekend and was just coming back in town, was just, getting the car unloaded, getting unpacked, thinking about the next day at work. And I got a phone call from a customer. Hey, man, I'm logged into our RDP server and it doesn't look right. Like files look encrypted. And, I thought, okay, well, we've got great backups of that cloud infrastructure. If he has been hit, we'll restore, blah, blah, blah. We've all been there. At least I think we have. So one of the engineers started looking at that, and then within about 30 minutes, we got a second phone call from another customer working that Sunday with the same thing, and then a third call. And so we knew we were in trouble. I logged into our own RDP environment and found the same thing to be true, and just, it was like an oh shit moment. Getting back on track was a daily, hourly, minutely exercise, and it was an endurance exercise, if you will. It was literally one customer at a time, and it depended on if they were on cloud infrastructure, if they were on a backup appliance, what that might be as to what our restore method was. But it was one at a time and one foot in front of the other until we got through the last of it.
Yeah, systematic processes and just following suit to be able to take care of each customer. Otherwise, you'd be jumping and trying to spin too many plates at the same time, and nothing would ever get done.
I just knew, the moment I knew the magnitude of that situation, I knew it was a stay calm and not panic. I also knew it was a pace myself moment, and I knew it was a pace my team moment. And every day was, wake up at a regimented time, work 15, 16 hours a day, get sleep because tomorrow will be no better. And that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks until we got through it.
Before I go to my last question, I just want to ask, how many pizzas did you buy for your team during that time?
Justin, I couldn't tell you the number of pizzas I bought, but I'll tell you, we had customers bring cookies to our office. We had, pizzas delivered daily, other lunch delivered daily. And it wasn't just me doing it. It was, it was literally, myself, friends, customers, other MSPs. The outpouring of help there was just, I had a customer that was, she just walked in my office about 4 days into it. And she took one look at me, and she just walked up and gave me a hug. And she was not like the person to ever walk in my office and give me a hug, but she just gave me a hug, and she's like, you don't look good. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I do like the part here where you said the customers were sending food. Like they knew, that means you had a very good relationship with your customers, and that helps, right? As the MSP, we have to really formulate those bonds with our customers, because when you're in a situation like this, it's very easy for them to turn their back on you and blame you. But in this case, especially like that one person who came into your office, like that means they care about you as people, they care about you as a partner, and that really helps, especially in a situation like this.
It was incredible to see the reaction of them and for the most part, I'll say they were very recognizing of the fact that this was something like way larger than us. The organization that targeted us was a significant organization that has caused significant cyber problems. And one of the main people in that organization is still on the FBI's most wanted list. And so, most recognize the magnitude of it and they weren't, I don't want to say they were accommodating because, in many cases they were down. So they were not accommodating. They needed to be back up and what's it going to take? But they were understanding that this was like larger than us or any other MSP. And if they had a thought of like terminating us, they knew that another MSP would be the same issue again.
Yeah. So that's good. So, all right, my last question here is about this is, what kind of habits or safeguards have you put into place that other MSPs should do to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen to them?
I will say for us, we immediately set a new security standard. We had to even to get through the containment phase of this, we had to set a new security standard. And the standards we set during that have become part of our ongoing and permanent standard. And we don't deviate from it. We don't go into a customer and say, well, we'd really like to put you on MDR. We really recommend. No, we're putting you on MDR, and it's a condition of doing business together. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want a customer to go through that again. And without going through obviously a full security stack, define your security stack. Don't make it optional, and stick to it.
I like that. Making sure their customers are sticking to the stuff that your security stack, and not deviating or letting the customers make the rules when technically they're hiring you for your expertise.
Yep.
Why would you let them bend the rules around things, especially around cybersecurity? So this is really good, and I'm terribly sorry you went through that nightmare, and I'm glad to see you come out the other side. So our last question, like I said, ChatGPT said you really like sailing. I'm assuming you own a boat. What kind of boat?
We own a, CNC 37 sailboat that is located on the Texas coast, and we sail it inshore and offshore. We race that boat. Our favorite race of the year is every October. It's called Harvest Moon Regatta, and it's about a 20 to 24-hour offshore race. Starts in one afternoon and ends sometime the next day, and it's just an absolute blast to do that race. It's an endurance test of ourselves, of our crew, of the boat to be offshore for that length of time, nonstop, without sleeping, and in racing conditions.
I gotta just say something like this race really sounds like the IT nightmare, where it's an endurance. You, my friend, are like well suited for good endurance and understanding how to keep things under pace and keep yourself under control and get your team under control. So what you're doing in the regatta sounds very similar to what you did during this nightmare. And so I applaud you for being, because I know me, I'd be freaking the hell out the entire time.
I've always liked endurance activities. I think they're a test, mentally. I think there's a test physically, and to get through them is just it's an accomplishment. It's a feat. It's a confidence builder. So I love doing it.
Well, that's awesome. James, thanks so much for being here. And that is our time. For more great content, check out channelpronetwork.com.
Don't miss out on the next IT nightmares. Like and subscribe before it's too late.